Hi everyone, I am Andra Annette and welcome to Storytime. And today I have a fabulous guest with me that you are just going to love. So, Andrew Newman is with me today, and he is the founder of Conscious Stories. And it's really a series of stories that have gotten started to help support parents connect with the children in that last 20 minutes in bed. He's been on TEDx talks and he's done a TEDx talk on the last 20 minutes of the day and how that's really important to help the children regulate their bodies and really get a restful sleep. But he also speaks about trauma awareness and bonding and connection. So I'm really glad to have him as a guest because I think his message is really important for our kids today. So we are going to read from his story, The Hug That Got Lost. So please help me welcome Andrew Newman. Hello, 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 Andrew.
Hello, hello. How nice to be here with you. Wonderful to have you doing story time with your community.
I'm so excited to have you. So I know that you also have a lot of other things going on. So do you want to share a little piece of what you were just sharing with me was wonderful, and I'd love for the audience to hear more about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love writing stories. And then so many people come to me and say, hey, can you help me write a story? And then when I go to schools and like kids want to write stories. So this is exactly what we've started to do. It's so wonderful to feel the idea bubbling inside, to get the pen out, to dream who is my hero in the story? What's the adventure they're going on? What's the trouble they're going to get into? How do I get them out of the trouble? And how do they live happily ever after? And that's one very simple plot line, but it happens to grab the attention of the reader, and it makes for an exciting story. And so we have a little writing booklet that's now available that people can make their own stories. I mean, I think the kids' favorite part is where they get to draw their own self-biography and write about the author, describe what the book's about, what was the main lesson, and you end up with your own book. And of course, you can make as many of those as you like. Sometimes we've seen them made in 20 minutes, and then other times when you're in the classroom and we're learning some more about different writing techniques, then we can take a week to slowly build it out and bring your ideas to life. Just like I have, you see the stories behind me. They're all stories that bubbled inside of me as some little seed of an idea at some stage. And then I had to learn the process of writing and how to fit the stories to the pages and the number of pages in the book and things like that. But it's a fun project to get involved with.
It absolutely is. And I think that it makes you have to think about the process and really develop it, but it also teaches you the lesson that you're trying to convey to somebody else, right?
That's fun. Yeah, we often ask the kids to include something like kindness or gratitude into a story, and then you just leave it and watch the opportunities as they create these worlds with chickens and frogs and alligators and giraffes and aliens and all of the things. Who try and squeeze as many as we can into one story, and we have some very interesting friendships like crocodiles and chickens. I remember that. Um, and then how does a crocodile show kindness to a chicken? Now you've got a fun way to be bringing to life something that's just a beautiful central value to be bringing awareness to and learning about.
And it's teaching us to get along, right? Not to despite our differences, the alligator and the chicken, they become great friends probably in the book, right?
Uh, Yes, and they did in that story, but particularly with creativity in a classroom, there are 20 versions of the same story. So if I said to you, there's 20 kids, there's 20 versions. If I go like once upon a time there was a giraffe named, and you run with a story, every one of those stories will be a unique expression of that individual child. They will not be competitive. They will be there's nothing to compete over. They're each got their own beautiful space
Version.
in their own. It's their own heart. It's their own hands that have been put into the story, and I mean, that's just the fun of it, and I don't think there's any competition in the world of writing. We've got space in the world uh, for everybody's book and everybody's story, and thankfully, it's getting easier and easier to create your own book these days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So why don't we pull up your story for the audience because I think they're just going to love it. I love what I've seen already.
Hmm. Good. Here we go.
The
So
hug who
you
got stuck. I even love the title.
The hug who got stuck. A shout out to Alexis Aronson. She's our beautiful illustrator in Cape Town, South Africa, who created this. And welcome to story time, children of all ages. Come and put your feet up and let's enjoy this story together. This book is dedicated to all who hug, and I like to start every story with the snuggle breathing meditation. So please join me for these 4 breaths.
Give me
Uh,
1 second because I almost got interrupted. Okay, I'm back.
Good
Let's
catch.
I want to join.
Yeah, that happens. So the 4 breaths are breathing in, I breathe for me. Taking a nice breath for yourself, I breathe for me. I breathe for you. I breathe for us. And I breathe for all that surrounds us. I feel a bit more relaxed and ready to read. Once upon a time, on a very ordinary day, deep in the center of a very ordinary heart, an extraordinary thing happened. Deep in the center of this heart was a hug factory. The hug factory made the most warm, cozy, cuddly hugs. I'll give you a quick tour of the hug factory. Over on the right is the door of the heart. Hugs come zooming in there. They go into that top room. Their love is glowing brightly. It gets caught on the solar panels. That fills up the big green battery with love energy, and that battery powers the light deep in the center of your heart where baby hugs are growing in a forest of trees, hydroponically drip fed by a special watering system that is stardust, rainbow light, and that is a basket of warm, fuzzy feelings. And when the tags are ready, they get picked, they get taken through into the encoding room and zooming out into the world past this big sign that says, "We will see shortly." And they go out to deliver their love. Hmm. Did you know that was happening in your heart?
No, but this is amazing. I love this.
Yeah, great. So each hug was freshly made and specially encoded with just the right amount of love and care to delight the heart it was made for. Being a hug wasn't always easy. Sometimes a lonely thought or bad feeling would trap a hug in a sticky web. Uh-oh, lonely, nobody loves me, anxious, who cares? I'm all alone. So, to help hugs deliver their love and care, there was a big sign on the factory wall. Reminders to being a great hug. 1. Breathe in love to glow brightly. 2. Focus entirely on the heart the love is for. And 3. Don't pay too much attention to the web of sticky thoughts. On most days, you could see streams of hugs entering and leaving the door of the heart, zooming away like bees from a hive. But not on this day. On this day, there was a problem. One special hug on its way out of the heart got stuck. Very, very stuck. Uh-oh. This hug had forgotten the third rule. Do you remember the third rule? Don't pay too much attention to the web of sticky thoughts. It fought against the web of sticky thoughts to get free, but every wriggle and squirm trapped the hug even more. Soon the hug ran out of breath and lost its glow. Inside, the heart became horribly congested, with crowds of hugs waiting to get out. Unused hugs were put into boxes until every inch of space was filled up. Outside the heart, there was also a problem. A traffic jam of visiting hugs couldn't get in to deliver their special love and care. Soon the factory stopped making new hugs. Oh no. There was only one stuck hug in the center of one ordinary heart, but all around the world, hugs lost a little of their glow. It's a bit sad, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see what happens. The hug sighed helplessly. Maybe we should sigh together as well and help. Ah, it stopped wriggling, stopped squirming, and stopped fighting. In that moment, something magical happened. As it stopped wriggling, it breathed in love and glowed brighter. As it stopped squirming, it remembered the heart it was made for. As it stopped fighting, it slipped right past the web of sticky thoughts. Free! Yay! The hug glowed brighter and brighter, zooming away toward the one special heart it was made for. The hug factory clinked and whirled back to life. A flood of hugs passed in and out of the heart, each delivering their special love and care. It was just one hug who got unstuck in the center of one ordinary heart, and all around the world, an extraordinary softening happened. The end.
That's such a beautiful story and concept. You have
Yeah.
quite, I mean, it's really beautiful.
Here's your daily hug meter. So it's our little activity page at the back of the book, and you can make sure that you had we want 4 hugs to survive, 8 to maintain, and 12 to thrive. So get to check just before going to sleep. How many hugs did you receive? How many did you give? What special ingredients you put into your hugs? What sticky thoughts are bothering you? We usually have some. It's quite nice to get free of them before you go to sleep. And remember how to get free by breathing in love and glowing brightly and focusing on the heart you were made for. And then, who are you growing hugs for whilst you sleep? And I want to grow a hug for my sister because I haven't seen her in a long time. So I'm going to grow a hug for her. And that's our story.
That's absolutely beautiful. So now that we're done with the story, I do want to hear a little bit more about your 20 minutes of the day because I think that a lot of people can learn from this 20 minutes a day at the end of the day. So I know you did a TEDx in 20 minutes, and um, could you tell us a little bit more about why you say it's so important to spend the last 20 minutes just really because this is true not just for little ones. This is
Yes,
true for
that was
for
my first thought. I
adults
was like,
and
yep.
everyone else. You know, so many people are on screens and doing all that other stuff. So I was telling someone earlier that was going to show them what you do, and I said this is the perfect time because this is when I should be dysregulating. So I want to hear more. I want to learn from Andrew Newman what I need to do.
Yeah, we have a wonderful opportunity to set ourselves up for a great night's sleep, and we don't get to go awake asleep and just flick it off like a light switch. There's a transition that we go through where the day is ending, the awake part, and the sleep part is coming. And so if we start to view that as that transition, and understand that our brain is doing different things in the day to what it's doing at night. At night, it's kind of cataloging the memories of the day, and it's making sense of all the experiences, and it's also starting to particularly in our kids, it's starting to build protective strategies. Like what does something happened on the playground today? I didn't like it. I haven't got the skills yet to deal with it because that's what really we're learning. I'm little. And now I'm going to sleep and I'm worried about being on the playground tomorrow. And so that anxiety piece that's in there would come in like the story as like as a sticky thought. And as parents, we can often not know that this is in the subtext of what's happening in little hearts and minds. And what every every painful moment, doesn't matter how big or small it is flavored with separation, right? So that painful moment on the playground was like, I don't feel like I belong, I feel separate. Now, how do we repair a moment of separation? We repair it by connection. And this is what you get to offer as a parent. You just in the simple act of coming alongside, climbing into bed, snuggling, doing a story, maybe you do it on the sofa. It puts you into something together. And that connective experience calms the nervous system of the kids. Our kids are borrowing our nervous system all the time. They're attuning with us. They're mimicking us, really. It's like, how do we be a human in the world? Well, we do it the same way that mom and dad do it, right? That's the basis of our young learning mind. And so here's the opportunity for us to be a regulating body to our little ones, and to help them just with their processing of the day. And maybe there's a conversation starter like in our story that says, so what sticky thoughts do you have? Maybe they tell you, and we certainly hear from a lot of parents around this particular book where kids have revealed things that the parents could just never know. And then they're feeling loved, they're feeling safe, they're feeling connected to, they're feeling wanted, they're feeling like they belong in the family, just because of the attention that you're giving them. Now, the upside is actually, as a parent, we're often worry about how our kid is doing, and the thing that calms us down is that same moment of connection, that sweet moment where you're laughing together at a story, that moment where you get to maybe do a little foot massage or something. Those things, when you're in that close proximity with each other, they calm our anxiety about parenting as well. So, and if you've got a little one who's under 7 years old, you kind of got to put them to bed. It's like you got to do it anyway. You might as well make it an intentional part of your day. Choose your good content that matches the values for you and your home, and keeps your kids engaged. And that's a fine line, getting both of those at
Yes,
the same
yes.
time. Um, and have fun with it. It's a delicious moment.
I think that's such a great message to put out, and I think that it's needed. It's really needed right now. We need more connections in the family, but it does help with all of those things you were talking about because we don't spend a lot of time with our children throughout the day, and a
Mm.
lot of those sticky thoughts might be happening. So this is a way, in your book especially, is a way for them to open up and start sharing about it when we talk about those sticky thoughts. Have you had any sticky thoughts today? And you have parts in the book that invite them to really share some of those sticky thoughts, right?
No.
And I think this is a really wonderful thing that you're doing,
Now
and
you've got a language in the home, and this is what happens very quickly within 2 or 3 times of reading the book. Y- y- your kids might actually be the one who come to you first and say, "Hey, Mama, do you have a sticky thought?" Right? So now it's an easy language. It's a behavioral thing that you can see. You when they've withdrawn or they've gone inwards or they're not able to engage with with the activity that's present. Maybe this is a moment. Oh, do you have a sticky thought? Well, let's help you with that. And now we've got a language that you can just follow through with the which story. Then the little brain people, maybe we do this next time, is the one that's all about what happens in the brain. And by the time you finish this story, you know what a yucky brain moment is. And there we go. Like now we all have them. We're all going through yucky brain moments where our system goes from feeling safe to not feeling safe and is reactive. And so we all have to learn how to restore calm. And we want to be, every time I read this story, I get the reminder. So it's good. It's good for me, and I wrote it.
Yeah, but it's great. This is stuff that is really universal for
Yes.
adults, children everywhere, all over the world, and I think this is really going to help a lot of people. I love what you're doing.
No, thank
So
you.
I hope you will come back and visit us here on Story Time.
Let's
So
do
if
it.
if you can, you're always welcome. If you can share one insight with the audience, what would that be?
Oh goodness. I mean, that's a widespread. Um, firstly, to the parents, I would say, if you're here and you're listening and you've been in this conversation, you are a good enough parent. Well done. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing, which is loving your kids and learning a little bit, right? That
Mm.
so I just want that parenting anxiety piece to soften. And then we have to be skillful about seeking connection and seeing what the open doors are. And if you've got a little one who loves story, um, follow that. And the literacy metrics we know that kids who read more do better socially at school, they do better at school, they have better chance in life later. But the reading more is starts with reading together. And so this is what the long-term benefits are of engaging in these sweet moments right now of the young little ones.
And it's definitely building a stronger connection in the family. It's creating a much stronger bond. It
Yeah.
gives that time of connection to really share anything that's going on, to not just throughout the day, but in general, because it's in those moments that they feel safe, where they are more likely to maybe make themselves a little vulnerable and share things that they might not often, right? Because they don't feel that
Yeah.
vulnerability with a parent, someone trusted and someone loved. So if something's going on with them, this is a great way to find out. It really is. And even if it's just
Yeah.
that your
There's a
child is
very
very happy and very well adjusted, it's still a great way to find
and then you
out,
get to
right?
know that and celebrate it with
Yes.
them. Yes, we're not looking for problems. We're looking for
No, we
opportunities to
are. We're
advance
looking for
their capacity.
happy times,
Yes.
no bad times. So I
Yes.
want to
And
thank you. I'm sorry.
there's a reason why that happens. And when we usually, as a parent, we're front to front with our kids. We have rank, we're higher than them. We're telling them things to do, and we come in like this. When you go into the world of story and you open the book, now you're side by side. And it shifts that rank. You're on the same level, and you go on an adventure together. Now, I mean, we used to do that watching the one television in the lounge, right? But we don't do that anymore. It's like everybody's on their own screen. So this is our modern day technology for creating that shared experience.
I love that. I want
Yeah.
to thank you so much for coming on today. I love that you guys are here listening in story time. And I hope that we see Mr. Newman again because he's amazing. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I want to thank you so much for coming in and have a great evening.
Aloha.